Alright guys, if you ever wanted to learn the easiest way to create your very first own Node.js application, this is the video that you want to watch throughout the whole thing, because I'm going to show you exactly what you need in order for you to build your Node.js applications. First of all, what you need is obviously your Node.js platform, which is you can go just Google Node.js. The very first link is going to come up, and then from there, at the moment of this recording, the latest version it is 16.5, but they recommend you use 14.73, and that's the one that we are going to be installing. So what you do is, I already saved this in here, so we're just going to go to the installation process, which is very basic. There's not much to this Node.js installation. If you ever installed anything in your Windows, you will find this very extremely easy to use. So here we go. So we're gonna click next and agree, obviously, right? And if you want, you can read through all of it, but I normally just click on next, and then the installation directory will be this, and then we're just gonna go here. And one thing I would recommend, don't check this off, because this is gonna install a whole bunch of other things that you may not need for your first Node.js application. So make sure you uncheck this, and then you click next and then install, and then we should be rocking or rolling pretty shortly. And while this is installing, and this is going to be the very first video in which I'll show you how to build your very first Node.js application. In the next video, I'll show you how to build your own login system with Node.js. So make sure you watch out for that. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel so that way you get notified of all the new videos that I create. That's going to help you take your web development career to the next level a lot faster. So all right, so this is installed. We're going to click finish. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to create this file called app.js. Let me just open this up in my Sublime Text Editor. You can use Sublime Text Editor or Visual Studio Code Editor or whatever editor you got. And then if you want, you could just copy all this. Basically, the main thing is going to be this. And well, the whole thing. I'll just leave a link in the description for you in which you can copy it and then create a file called node app.js. If you want, I'll pause, you'll let you copy it. If you want, you can just pause the video and copy this whole code. All right, so let's move on. So in here, if you're using Windows, which will be a lot easier for you to bring up your command line, which is, if you didn't notice, I just clicked in here, delete the address bar, and in your address bar, you're gonna type in cmd, and that's gonna bring up your command line. And from here, what you wanna do is, first thing first is to install what is called as the package manager. It is called npm. You type that in here, and then you wanna hit a space bar and then type in I lowercase instead of the word install. You could type it in. Most people teach this, like type in the word install and then whatever package you want to install. I just keep it short and simple. So it's going to be npmi space express, and then you're going to space minus sign or dash save. And then you're just going to hit enter sign, enter key, and then it's going to start to install the Express package. And you probably noticed before there was this file, and this file, and then this particular folder got created. And then by us installing this Express package only in the Node.js platform, you got a whole bunch of files and folders in here. There are 50 folders in here. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. And that's just one of the downside of having this Node.js thing, is because you are going to be installing a lot of stuff and the file size gets pretty damn big. So if I right click on this and I show you the file size, this whole thing is like 1.2 6 meg, and that's just one package. And when you start to install more packages, and in case you don't know what in the world is a package in the Node.js platform or environment, it is basically the closest thing I explain to you is like if you ever run a PHP, there's a classes and then there's a modules and things of that nature. That's what these are. There are classes, the module that other people have created. And the beautiful thing about this, they are not that big, but there are a lot of them depending on what you're going to use it. But as you will see, when I show you how to create your own login system with the Node.js, and the next video that's going to be coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, so let's go. So we install the package, and now let's go over to our app.js file, which is the only file. So in order for us to use any package that we want to use, we have to declare it first, just like any JavaScript variable. You declare it with the variable called express, and then it's required in here. And then you assign a variable app, and then we use the function within this library that's called express, and then we can use it. And then far as the port goes, we can run this thing in any port we want. We can run it on 8080, we can run it at 10 something. I just normally do it on 3000 because it just makes it a little better, I personally think. But you could change this port number to whatever you particularly want. And then what that's going to do with this app, which is this right here, is going to listen to it. And then I'm just canceling this out to say, hey, this is running on port, whatever that you port running, and that's that. And the server is running on this. And then the next part will be your router, in which when you go to a URL, it's going to go and show that particular route. And this will all make sense pretty soon how this Node.js routing works, I promise you. So once you are in this main route, which means when you go to, actually, let me just show you, probably will make a little more sense than this. All right, so let's just put this side by side right here, and then this over here. Let me make this a little smaller. There we go. All right. So what I'll do is if I go to my localhost first, localhost, and then colon, and then 3000. If I run this right now, it's going to show nothing. Obviously, right? It's going to say, hey, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And in order for you to run your Node.js applications, what you need to do is in your command line, type in node, and I'll show you the most difficult way. Then I'll get into how you can do it the easy way. Obviously, we want to do it the easy way, but I'll show you the hard way first, which you should know in case of a backup. So you type in word node, and then whatever the file that you want it to run. And the good thing about it is that when you're running this, let's say it's app.js, you don't have to type in .js, and then you just type in node and then hit node space app and then hit enter, and then it's going to start running it. As soon as it starts running it, you'll notice that it printed out this particular line, which is your JSON encoded JavaScript object, which is right over here. So if we want to send a regular HTML, let's say hello world, we'll just click on save, and then we have to go back in here. This is the hard way. Remember, I told you in Node.js, there's the easy way, then there's the hard way, right? And then what you do is if you want to stop the server, because right now the server is running, you have to press on your Windows, which is Command C, and then it's gonna show this kind of error message, this kind of caret plus C. That means the server is stopped running. And what I normally like to do, I like to clear anything that's above, so I just have a clean slate because I'm just organized like that. So in order for you to clean up everything, what you do is CLS, and this is gonna clean up everything for you. All right, so let's move on. So if you wanna restart the server, you type in node app and then hit enter, and then the server is running, and then we refresh it, and now it says hello world, and then yada yada yada, which is great. So now we have this whole bunch of other things that got printed out Don't worry about that part. And the reason why it's saying it is because header cannot be found, because we sent the request out twice. So we comment this out, and guess what we're gonna do next? We're gonna stop the server by pressing Control-C, and then I'll show you the easy way to do it. So clear this out. You can install a package called nodemon. So it's npm space I space nodemon, and then also another space and then -g. What that's gonna do is it's gonna install it globally. So no matter which folder you're working on right now, we are working on our first Node.js application. We can create another folder somewhere else on a computer, call it Node.js login system or something like that. We can then from there type in cmd and then run nodemon from there, and it will work perfectly fine in that Node.js applications. And then we're just gonna hit enter to install this particular package. And once again, in order for you to install a nodemon package on a Node.js application, you just type in npm space I for installation space nodemon space -g for global, and then it's gonna go install it. Come on, install, and here we go. It's installing. It'll take a few seconds, and then once it's installed, you just clear this up. And now the beautiful part about this is you just run it by calling nodemon and then the app name, which will be app.js, and then hit enter. And then now you might be wondering, like, oh, this looks a little different. What's the point of installing this as compared to using a node and space app? Well, what this is going to do is if you make any changes to your app right now on purpose, I did not save this. The reason why is because it's going to say, hey, header change, header change, header change. And then in here, I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to hit save. And then automatically it restarted the server, because anytime you type something in any of your files, it's going to restart the server to apply those new changes. So now if we refresh this, now it's only going to say, hello world, this is coming from Node.js route 123. It is that simple. So let's say if we want to output this as a JSON array, what we can do is we come here and then we comment this out. Even though we made changes, I am guessing that it's not going to work, because sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't work, unless I actually physically move something out of the way. So in other words, if I take this out and then save changes, it will do it, as compared to if I comment it, it will not. So let's find out. So if I made the change and this time around it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and in case if it doesn't work, don't freak out. It's just a normal thing. That just means you just got to come in here, delete this out, hit save, and then voila, it will work. So that is how you build yourself a simple route, which means you just went in here, your put 3000 and that's that. So let's say if we want to create another route, so I'll just copy this in here and I'll go here and then I'll just type in ID, and then from here I'll just type in ID 123 and hit save, and it restarted the Node.js application. And now if I want to go to another route, I'll just type in /ID, and now it's going to say, hey, I cannot find the route ID, which is fine. And what we are going to do is we're going to go over here, just type it here, and it will find it soon enough. All right, so let's find out why it cannot find the route IDs. Remember when I said earlier, when you use a nodemon, sometime you will have to make it changes and then it will start working. And just so happen when you create another router in here, which is another route, and let's just close in here, you will have to manually close your Node-Man application, Node-Man, by pressing Control C, and then this prompt will come up, and then you say yes, I want to close the job, and then clear this out, and then we go Node-Man app, and then it's gonna start working. It's just one of those funky things about the Node.js application is that one of the things I don't like about it is like you gotta restart the server every single time. It doesn't automatically do it. So hopefully this was helpful, and if you really are interested in learning how to create a Node.js login application, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be putting that out soon, so that way you get notification and all that good stuff. But if you feel like, hey, this is pretty helpful, leave a comment below. Or if you like, this was not really helpful at all, leave a comment below as well. That way I know. And if you really feel like this was helpful, share it with your friend or another one of your developer friends who can actually use this helpful. Use this particular training video, and that way they can learn as well. So as I always say, until next time, happy coding.